Hello everyone, it's Coach Steph. I'm going to be talking about 3 things that you have to stop doing in 2026 if you want to lose weight. So if you're here and you're watching the replay, say hello to #replay in the comments. Y'all like my sweatshirt? This is in the merch store, torn between looking like a snack and eating one. If you guys like this, check out the merch store with the link in my bio. I wanted to come on really quickly. I am going to start recommitting to coming into this app and doing a live every single week. So stay tuned for that. I want to invite you guys, obviously, to join the Fit Figure Formula and let me help you lose weight and lower your A1C in 2026. But here are 3 things that I want you to stop doing today if you want to lose weight and keep it off. So you're going to see lots of challenges. They're already popping up. And I thought about doing one too. It's a smart idea, to be honest, as a coach, right? But I really just wanted to stay true to myself. Challenges are great, but if you want to, it does not matter how much weight you can lose in a challenge. If you cannot keep it off, it won't matter, right? If you're not doing any sugar, no soda, no blah, 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 for this month, and then day 31, you're back at it, it won't matter. So change your lifestyle instead. Let me help you inside the Fit Figure Formula. If you don't know me already, I'm Coach Steph. I'm a registered dietitian, I'm a personal trainer, I'm a mindset transformation coach, and I help female perfectionists to beat self-sabotage and lose the weight for good. Inside of my 16-week program, you get 2 opportunities each week to get coached by me. You get free invitations to my guest coaching, where we bring in sleep experts, stress management experts, time management experts, hormone experts. Most of my clients are 40 plus. So all the testimonials that you guys see on my personal page, if you're not already my friend on my personal page, make sure you're following me. But all those testimonials are women who are 40 plus. Okay. So this is definitely possible. I'm going to teach you how to master your macros so that you can have more food freedom. I'm going to help you master your mindset so you can get consistent, because that's the most important thing. You need a fit mindset in order to keep a fit body. Okay. If you guys say hello to me, I don't even know if I can see comments, but I'll double back. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Hey, Brittany. So here are 3 things. I got my little notes here, and I'm just going to elaborate on them a little bit. So relying on working out alone. Okay. So a lot of times when I'm having conversations with you guys in the DMs, I'm saying, hey, what are you doing? What are you trying to do in order to reach your goal? Whether that's gain muscle or tone, as y'all would say, or lose fat. What are you doing? And the first thing you guys tell me typically is, I'm exercising, I'm doing, my walks, I'm running, I'm doing whatever. Especially after 40, but even in general, your nutrition is where you're going to find the most benefit. And this is the area where we don't like to be as disciplined. We don't like to be as disciplined with our nutrition. Why? Because it feels good to go to happy hour every night, or it feels good to be mindless on the weekends because you had a long week and just eat whatever it is. But you're going to get the best results when you actually understand your nutrition. And it's so important that you actually understand your nutrition, because you could intermittent fast, right? You just cut out a mealtime. Sometimes that doesn't help. Sometimes number one, that makes your hormones worse, especially if you're cutting out breakfast. And sometimes you're still eating too many calories in that window, right? Or you're eating way too little protein. If you want to tone up, baby, you need protein. So I want you guys to actually lean in. I have a step-by-step formula that I give you each and every day. You're not going to be confused. By the end of the 16 weeks, my clients are building their own plans in minutes. I teach you how to do this in minutes. Tracking sucks. If you're tracking your macros right now, that sucks. And it's very hit or miss, right? Because sometimes you hit your goals and sometimes you don't. I give you a fail-proof way to hit your macros every single day without having to track every day, and you actually hit your numbers. And this is so important. So actually leaning in to understanding your nutrition. This is not hard, y'all. I promise you it's not difficult. And the way that I teach you week by week in a step-by-step process, it's actually pretty simple. I always ask my clients, I'm like, hey, y'all have any questions? Y'all have any questions? Very seldom do they have any questions, because I have perfected how I'm teaching this inside of the formula. and inside of my private coaching app. So literally I'm in your back pocket every single day. So if you want to lose weight and keep it off well after 2026, you have to stop just relying on working out harder, doing 2-a-days, doing more cardio. I never pay attention to how many calories this thing says that I burn. I literally never pay attention because it doesn't really matter. You know what happens, especially if you guys are doing a lot of cardio? When you do a lot of cardio, when you do really hard workouts, which is fine to do, right? You actually end up being hungrier. And it is so, let's say you burned 500 calories, which is kind of a lot. I would say like most of our workouts we're burning like 300, 400 maybe. 500 is like a really good workout, okay? It may be even more than that, but let's just say 500. It's so easy to eat back like an extra 200 here. And we're talking about one workout, right? But let's say you worked out a really hard workout on Monday, but then Tuesday you like ate like an extra 200. Then also that Monday you overate like a little more than what you normally do because you're going to be hungry. If you're doing really hard workouts and you're not tracking your food or you're not like, you don't know how many calories you're eating, your hard workouts are making you more hungry. So that is why understanding your nutrition is so important. I want you to get the workouts in. I want you to lean in, but I don't want you to think that you can just work out harder. Let me get my 10,000 steps. Let me, strength train or cardio and just try to eat better, which actually goes into my second point. So my second tip is eating clean, eating mindfully is not the same thing as hitting your macro goals. So this means that, so what? You could be eating more healthy food. Maybe you're eating at home more often. That's great. But if you have a fat loss specifically, if you have a fat loss goal, you're going to get there so much faster. You're going to get better results if you actually understand your food and you're actually hitting your macros. Again, tracking sucks. I don't teach my clients to track. I teach them my formula, which is pre-planning your meals within minutes, right? Like I give them, we build this over time over the course of like maybe 4 to 5 weeks. And then they can pre-plan their food in minutes, literally. So eating mindfully doesn't mean you're getting enough protein. I can tell you this, out of all the clients that I've coached, and I've coached hundreds of clients at this point, y'all are typically getting anywhere between 70 and 100 grams of protein, which is fine for general health. But you need more than that. If you want to tone up your muscles, we need more than 100 grams of protein. That might seem like a lot. Like I feel like when I hear people talk about this, like, oh my God, 100 grams, like that's not that much. A lot of my clients need 120, 130. My clients can get up to like 150 with no problem. They normally need 3 meals and 1 snack to do this. But it's really hard when you don't have the skill set to just eat clean and hit those numbers. So the main numbers that you need to hit, this is what I tell my clients in the formula, your protein and your calories. Be within 100 calories of your calorie goal, hit or exceed your protein, let your fat and carbs flex, right? So if you haven't checked out the podcast, it's back, by the way. I did skip a few weeks, but another episode came out yesterday. But I do have a macros 101 on the podcast to help you understand like macros a little bit better if you're kind of confused about that. But the first tip was number 1, relying solely on working out to hit your goals. Number 2, just eating clean or just being more restrictive. If you're just cutting out a mealtime, if you're just cutting out carbs, if you're just cutting out, soda or whatever, those are great habits, right? Like that's a habit that you can do, but eating clean or being really restrictive doesn't necessarily mean that you're hitting your goals, especially being restrictive, because that just starts the binge cycle. The more that you restrict on sugar and carbs, the more that you're going to go crazy when you have the opportunity, right? Or when you're feeling weak, because willpower is not a good long-term strategy. Let me say that again. Willpower is not a good long-term strategy for good maintenance. Like we need our environment to be set up. We need to actually understand our food so we can know how much of a treat we can actually have, because you can have a treat if you know how to hit your goals. Number 3, the third tip is skipping carbs. So many ladies come to me and they're scared to eat carbs. They're like, I don't want to eat too many carbs. Even clients who are diabetic. So I had this one client and she was like an old auntie. Like I loved coaching her. And she was so nervous. She's like, you got me eating all these carbs. I don't know. My A1C is going to be higher. And she went and got her A1C. And she was like, okay, my A1C is lower. And I was like, yes, I feel vindicated because you can eat carbs. You just have to pick the right carbs, right? You have to pick the right carbs and you have to have them in the right portions, and always, always, always put with protein. You never eat a carb without a protein source, y'all. I'm telling you, okay? That's just a rule. Not even a rule, but just like a guideline, okay? Skipping meals or skipping carbs. If you are feeling like you don't have a lot of energy, aside from getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep, we need carbs. Our brain likes to function on carbohydrates. And the carbs that you pick are really important. Sure, you could go keto, but don't go to a birthday party and have cake. Don't go through a drive-thru and get, a burger. Like, keto's super duper restrictive. And a lot of my clients don't really like to be restricted. You can have carbs. It just has to be in the way that is not going to elevate your blood sugars as much. And I give you those 4 tips. I've said this multiple times too on live, but there's 4 ways to eat carbs that are not going to spike your blood sugars. Another thing as well, if you guys have thyroid issues, or sometimes you can stimulate a thyroid problem because you don't have enough carbs, y'all. So especially after 40, number 1, we need to be eating in a high protein calorie deficit, but that calorie deficit does not need to be huge. It needs to be very slight. My clients get the best results when they're in a slight calorie deficit. They're hitting 7,500 steps per day. They're hitting their protein goal and they have just a slight calorie deficit, but they are eating carbs. They are eating flexibly. They are planning in treats. If you're not planning in treats, because they can fit, I promise you, you can hit your calorie goal and your protein goal and still have a treat if you know the skill. And that's what I teach my clients. So this knowledge that I'm giving you is something that you can take with you for the rest of your life. My clients are going to know this forever. So it's not like, I hate it when clients will say, oh, well, I did Weight Watchers or something like that. And they do it and they might lose weight, but then they have no idea, unless they keep the little point, like keep up with points. They don't actually understand your food, because counting points is not understanding your food, right? And then I'll give you another bonus tip. So we talked about just working out as a source of creating that calorie deficit, not the best idea. Eating clean or being too restrictive or just winging it, not the greatest. You actually need to understand your nutrition, especially now after 40s. We should know like how to eat properly. And then number 3, skipping carbs. But number 4 is, this is the bonus, getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep. We recently had a sleep coach come into the formula. She gave a phenomenal presentation. I'm definitely having her come back, and she talked about the different kinds of sleep deprivation. There's not just like a one size fits all. There's like 4 different categories. And she really broke it down for my clients and gave them, based on what category that they're in, recommendations for how to get that really good deep sleep, that 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Because let me tell you what happens. I think it's your pituitary gland. When you get deep sleep, right? When we get into deep sleep, we have human growth hormone. So if you're not getting deep sleep and you're not getting enough deep sleep, you might be working out really hard at the gym. You might be eating well. Maybe you are hitting your protein. Y'all are probably not. But let's say for whatever reason, you understand like, okay, I gotta have at least 30 grams of protein per meal and snack. And maybe you're getting enough protein. If you're not getting enough sleep, you're cutting the time for those hormones, that hormone cascade, to happen in order to build muscle. Your muscle is not built on your workout day. It's built when you rest, on your rest days, which is why you should not be working out every single day. It is built when you sleep, which is why you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Okay. So you could be doing everything right. And I know it can seem like a lot, right? We got to walk, we got to strength train, we need a little bit of cardio, we need to sleep well, we still have life happening, we got kids doing stuff, we need to plan our meals, we need to do meal planning, meal prep, and it seems like a lot. And you have to give yourself grace because some weeks are going to be off, and that's okay. What I teach my clients is to create imperfect progress. You do not want to have to do a 75 hard and be perfect every day for 75 days to see results. Like, that's not sustainable. Challenges are short for a reason. They're short because they're not sustainable. You can't keep doing that. And if you can't keep doing it, you can't keep getting the results that you get from doing it, which is why it matters. How you get to your goal actually matters. Right? So making sure that you understand that. So if you need help, I'm a registered dietitian. I am a personal trainer, a weight loss mindset coach. I'm going to help you understand your macros, feel better in your body. My clients lose weight, they lose inches, they feel better. Within a couple of weeks, you're going to start having more energy. For those of you who are like, yeah, I don't have that much energy, type me in the chat. If you're dragging, if you're feeling fatigued, if you got to go to bed early every night, if by 3 o'clock you're like, ooh, girl, I'm tired, like, you will have more energy even before like the scale moves, and that is going to just make you feel better. Listen, I've been talking a lot about perimenopause and menopause, and matter of fact, that's what the last podcast episode was about. So if you are learning more about perimenopause, or if you're already in menopause, check out the Fit Figure Formula podcast, because the last episode that just came out on Tuesday was Menopause Part 1, and every single Tuesday of this month, I'll be talking about perimenopause and menopause. So make sure y'all check out the Fit Figure Formula podcast on whatever platform you listen to your podcast. But I've been talking a lot about that. I want to tell y'all something, and I said this in the podcast, something that's helped my brain so much. Y'all, when I tell you brain fog, when I tell you anxiety, this year has been crazy for me in regards to that. And the last like 3 months-ish, I've been taking creatine, and I feel like myself again. And literally, I'm like, it does help you build muscle and stuff like that. I've definitely built muscle. I know I can't see up under these clothes, but like I have a personal trainer too, because I was getting tired of my my own workouts. I was like, I need a new environment, so I have a trainer, and I've been taking creatine, and I'm definitely building muscle. But that wasn't even why I was taking it. It was because of the cognitive benefits, and I'm definitely feeling it. So do your research. I'm not a supplement expert, y'all, but if you're going through perimenopause and menopause and you feel like you're having anxiety, which a lot of you guys said, I think I asked a question a couple of days ago, and you guys said, hey, I'm having anxiety. I am mood swings, brain fog, all of those things. I really feel like creatine has helped me a lot. So just throwing that out there if you're struggling, because it was bad earlier this year, but I'm feeling better. So I hopefully that was helpful, you guys. I'm going to start coming in here and doing a live. I kind of stopped, and it sucks now that Facebook does not save these anymore. They used to save them. Now they erase them after 30 days, which really sucks. But depending on how I upload it, like today I'm just going live in here. Sometimes I will actually record my podcast through here, so you'll see a whole new setup. And that way I can just download it and put it in here. But today, this will be gone in 30 days. So announcements. Listen to the Fit Figure Formula podcast, especially in January if you want more info on perimenopause or menopause. 2, if you are joining the Fit Figure Formula, I forgot to tell you guys, before January 15th, if you're joining before the 15th, you're going to get an extra month. So what does that look like? You head to the link that is pinned in the comments, you apply. Once you apply, we get on a one-on-one call to see if it's a good fit for us to work together. If you decide to join, then you get enrolled and you start coming to our calls. We have 2 calls a week, so you have 2 opportunities to get coached. All the calls are recorded, so if you do happen to miss a call, no problem. I have clients who travel and who are like, okay, cool, I can just watch the replay, and they do watch the replay. Because when I'm coaching other people, you're getting secondhand coached because y'all are all dealing with the same type of problems. So it's still really helpful. You get my blueprint, my formula blueprint that I've worked years on, and I have put hundreds of clients through this process. You're going to get workouts, home and gym workouts that are all customizable, and you are going to learn how to master your macros, because that's going to give you the most food freedom. No more restricting carbs or sugar, no more, just cutting out a mealtime and hoping for the best. You're going to actually understand your food. That's going to help you feel so much more in control, and it's going to give you better results. You're going to be able to see those back muscles. You're going to be able to see your abs. It takes a while to see abs. That's like the last part, especially if you have a lot of adipose tissue around the gut. It's usually the last to go. But if you keep going, right, because this is a lifetime, this is not a get skinny quick program. I always tell y'all, like, if you're trying to get snatched for your birthday, this ain't the program for you. I want to teach clients how to live healthy for the long term so that we change generational cycles of diabetes, of hypertension, of, obesity. So if you are looking for that kind of transformation, the Fit Figure Formula might be for you. You can check the link in the comments. If you guys have questions, again, put them in the comments. I can't see any comments on here. But yeah, I can't see any comments. Say hello to me. Even if you don't have a question, just say hey. And I'll be back sometime. I don't know if I'm going to go live tomorrow. Y'all just have to catch me, because I was trying to do it like every Monday at a certain time, and that really wasn't working for me, and I was tripping myself up. So, but I am going to be back very soon to do another live training. Let me know what questions you have. If you have questions about nutrition, A1C, fiber, getting enough protein, mindset, being consistent, motivated, starting out on this health journey for 2026, put it in the comments or send me a DM. If you have any podcast episode recommendations. So I need to go back. I've been doing podcasts for 2 years, and I need to look at like the topics that I've talked about and see if there's anything that I haven't talked about that I think is really important. But the podcast is a great place to start. If you are new to me and you're kind of considering joining the formula, I would definitely binge the podcast. So there are some videos on YouTube, but I would just go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, look up Fit Figure Formula Podcast, and check those out so that you can understand more about my philosophy around mindset and macros. And just make sure that we align. And if you are curious, you can book a call and we can talk more about it. So I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you